I see on the list Pakistan.
Mr. President, all we are asking for in 1B is to restore the agreement that we had last night. So it is not an amendment that we are seeking from the floor, but it is only to reinstate the agreement and understanding that we had. We have not touched on 1B1, and we have let it stay as it is and as it was agreed last night. On the specific amendment, Mr. President, that we have proposed, if you see it clearly, and you have heard members of the group, and I think you and the whole world can appreciate the fragility of consensus that we have even in the group of 77. These are very complex issues, but I must thank the members of the group for showing all the flexibility that they showed in bringing us to the point where we stand now. And what we are asking for is that we are ready to have measurable, reportable, verifiable mitigation, but then that has also to qualify financing and technology. And therefore, it is important to preserve this in this language, and I would also join others in urging those that may have reservations to maybe place their comments on record, but not to block the consensus, because this is what we really work towards for many nights in a row, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Pakistan. May I now invite the United Republic of Tanzania.
Mr. President, sir, we have here in this room the unenviable situation of sitting between the flags of a superpower on my right and an economic power on my left. I'm almost squeezed. But I wish to make an impassioned plea for understanding, particularly on the part of my neighbor on the right, who has the power to block progress, and in their hands lie the power to wreck the progress that has been made thus far. Mr. President, sir, we support the position of the group of 77 as eloquently put forth by India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh and Maldives, who have spoken on behalf of the LDCs. Mr. President, let's leave Bali having made a footprint for future generations to say proudly that we were here. I thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. May I now call upon Papua New Guinea.
Thank you, Mr. President. We all came with high expectations. The world is watching us. We left a seat for every country. We asked for leadership. And there's an old saying, if you're not willing to lead, then get out of the way. And I would ask the United States, we ask for your leadership. We seek your leadership. But if for some reason you are not willing to lead, leave it to the rest of us. Please get out of the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Please proceed. Thank you, Papua New Guinea. Again, I've exceeded the list. I I do not see any other who wish to speak. Excuse me. Oh, that's the United States who wishes to speak again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I want to say I've listened, and we've listened very closely to many of our colleagues here. In fact, during these 2 weeks, I think we have had a very good opportunity to do so, but I've especially listened to what has been said in this hall today. And I and we are very heartened by the comments and the expression of firm commitments that have, in fact, been expressed by the developing countries, especially those major emerging economies, which we've just heard from. We came here to Bali because we want to go forward as part of a new framework. We believe we have a shared vision, and we want a roadmap forward. We want a success here in Bali. And we want to be part of a roadmap and also to do our part as part of that effort forward. Let me also indicate that as part of that, in terms of what we are committed to do, let me say, and I want to share with all of you, that we are very committed to developing a long-term global greenhouse gas emission reduction goal. We're also committed to giving the views of others very serious consideration, especially that of Japan, Canada, and the European Union, to lead to a halving of global emissions by 2050, as well as those of our developing country partners as we enter this discussion. I would also like to say that on mitigation in our discussions here, we came forward with 3 very substantial new commitments. That is, first, measurable, reportable, and verifiable nationally appropriate mitigation commitments or actions. Secondly was the including qualified emission limitation and reduction objectives. And thirdly, we also will consider these reductions in a way that ensures the comparability of efforts among them and taking into account differences in their national circumstances. I especially want to reassure my dear friend from South Africa that I think that we have come a long way here. And in fact, in this, the United States is very committed to this effort and just wants to really ensure that we all will act together. So with that, Mr. Chairman, let me say to you that we will go forward and join consensus in this today.
Honorable delegates, I feel a great sense that we are very, very close to the agreed outcome we are all seeking. Let us seize that opportunity. May I present you my wish for you to adopt this as amended as I have expressed. Thank you.